Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Up Next. Now, when I come back with another video, hey man, say man, look, shout out to Marcellus Wiley, that dude TV. Make sure I go support him. He says Stephen A. exposed the truth about Shannon Sharpe situation. Let's hop straight into it. Let's get it. Let's go. Hold up, my bad.
Y'all, it's Marcellus Wiley, that dude. Stephen A. Smith went on Big Boy's Neighborhood show, and he's going to take us deeper into the Shannon Sharpe lawsuit, the reaction from Disney, his conversations with Shannon, and his reaction to it all. Now, let me frame all this by saying, look, I know I talk a lot, but I listen more. I'm going to say it again. I talk a lot, but I listen more. I want y'all to listen to these words that are going to be spoken by Stephen A. Smith. It's going to give you a different understanding of what's going on with Shannon, Disney, and us watching Shannon. But more than that, if you're like me, going through school, you had a lot of friends, right? And then in your career, whatever it may be, for me, it's college to the pros to broadcasting. That's been my career, a lot of friends. But you know what I had even more than just friends? A lot more associates. Know the difference. You ever go somewhere and that's your boy, that's your dog, that's your partner, and then as soon as you leave there, you ain't talk to him? You're like, what happened to it? That was an associate. There are a lot of professional associates out here masquerading like they friends. Just keep that in mind when we listen to this conversation between Big Boy and Stephen A. Smith. Let it go.
And I got a lot of love for Shannon and getting to know him. I haven't known Shannon all of these years the way that I've known the others. I've met him in passing and stuff like that. And then, we became friends once I went and got him and brought him on board at ESPN. And I'm very proud that I brought him on board because I think he's done an exceptional job for us. His effort was contagious. He never cheated us. He always came on the air, always ready, always enthused about performing and doing his job and making sure he contributed to the ratings, which he did in a very profound fashion. And I'm incredibly grateful to him for that.
Okay. One, I sped this up because it's about a 5-minute clip we're going to go through. I don't want to keep y'all here forever. I'm trying to keep these videos shorter. Work with me. All right, so here's the thing. As always, balance with Stephen A. Smith, right? He comes off saying, look, I don't really know Shannon like that. Didn't before, and now we rocking together, but, I ain't know him like that. Now, some could take that as I did at first, like, bro, you trying to distance yourself from the dude? Like, this ain't the time to talk about you don't know me that well. This is the time you say you either know me or you don't say anything. But then he bounced it off and said, look, professionally, the dude came in, he was ready to work, blah, blah, blah. But you notice all of the attributes that he gave him that were positive were all work-related. And then when he said about him, he was like, I don't really know him like that. Just keep mine.
When I saw the story come out, obviously, I was alarmed like everybody else. It's 9:58 on Monday morning. We got a show at 10 o'clock. And then the story comes out about the allegations against him. That was very alarming. I didn't know until 2 minutes before show. And so when you're dealing with something like that, it takes on a life of its own. And on one hand, you got to be very, very sensitive to him from the standpoint that he is profoundly claiming his innocence. But then in the same breath, you're looking at the stuff his lawyers put out, and you're like, that ain't helping. And then you're looking at what you know about Disney. See, that's where I come in.
And this is where I come in. Okay, so now Stephen A. Smith has bought himself some room, some latitude. I just created 3 lanes for you to look at this situation instead of the one you anticipate, which is just going to be like me rocking with my boy, right? Well, yeah, I'm always going to look out for him, as he said first, but then I'm also going to look at what the hell they saying about you. I'm like, dog, love you, but and then even worse, I love you, oh, man, they ain't going to rock with you. Disney ain't trying to hear all that. Let Stephen A. explain it.
Because none of these cats have worked for Disney as long as I have. And is as familiar and intimate about the inner workings of Disney and how they think the way that I am. And so I'm now imagining what Disney's going to ultimately do. So although I was hopeful that it ultimately would not lead to him being off the air, I knew it wasn't going to go down like that.
I just want to let y'all know Disney has some questionable things about them too. So let's not let that go.
Okay, here we go. Now, this is wild. That right there is blowing up somebody's spot. Let me tell you why. Let me give you a little backstory. Remember when Shannon had everyone thinking that he left Fox on his own, mutually agreed at worst, look, buy out some of the headlines, never forced out or fired. And then Stephen A. Smith went somewhere on the podcast and said, nah, he was forced out. Remember that spot? Well, now he's going to blow up his spot again because in this situation, he said, I know it ain't going to go down like that. You went from, I imagine what Disney would do to, look, I know it ain't going down like that. Well, Shannon wanted us to think differently, didn't he? He wanted to go focus on his family, focus on handling this lawsuit, right? Even though he's still doing Nightcap and Club Shay Shay, and we all kind of like, how you going to focus and you still doing all the work? And you're doing more of the work. First Take was your easiest job, right? So we didn't believe it, but it's okay because we rock with Unc. So therefore, we just going to let you say what you got to say, especially in this moment because you're going through all this. We ain't going to be the one to point out any contradictions, but Stephen A. Smith will. He just pointed it out. So instead of Shannon having us all say, listen to him say, I am stepping away from ESPN, Stephen A. Smith went from imagining to knowing it ain't going down like that. But then he went on air and said, I don't know what's going on. Y'all get it?
Because I know Disney.
Right.
And so, again, I can't say all the things that I've heard, all of the things that I know based on my conversations with him and my conversations with the executives. What I do know is that he has emphatically and profoundly proclaimed his innocence from a legal and libel perspective in terms of, not assaulting or raping or doing anything like that to anybody. He is emphatic that he is innocent of those things. But the court of public opinion is what the Disneys of the world and others concern themselves with. That's a more immediate issue.
Yeah, that explains why the sponsors are going away from Shannon's show. You don't see all of the symbols and logos you used to see. All those reports of the Boost Mobile, the DraftKings, even the volume, that's gone, which is weird because he was on the volume. I don't know if Colin Cowherd and Colin dropped him or they were going through negotiations or he's a free agent. But, yeah, to his point, all that's real.
And unfortunately, that has worked against him at this particular moment in time. So I'm hopeful this will all go away.
Tough for your boy to be calling out the score right now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, you lose about 30. Like, you know what I mean? Like, dog, I know. Let me just keep playing. We still got 4 quarters of ball. You know what I mean?
I'm hopeful that I'll have my brother back on the airwaves talking football next season. I don't know if that's going to happen or not because we don't know what else we're going to learn and what Disney's going to be comfortable or uncomfortable with or anything like that. But
I had to stop that one harshly because Shannon, once again, has told us he's coming back for football season. Whether you believe it or not, that's what he said. Well, what Stephen A. Smith has already said and hedged his bet in saying, I don't know. Disney, they don't know. We don't know. So Shannon has us believing that, hey, I'm stepping away so I can focus. And Stephen A.'s like, nah, Disney ain't going to let you stay right now. Shannon has us believing that, I'll be back football season. Stephen A. Smith like, I don't know about that. I don't know what Disney going to do. Just pointing it out.
You also have to remember where the relationship really originated in terms of he and I. He was pushed out at Fox. Yeah. And I know there were folks there that wanted that to be the end of his career, and I wasn't going to let that happen because I remember how folks tried to do it to me in 2009. And I was blessed and fortunate to be a brother in a position where I could do something about it, where I didn't have that luxury of having somebody there for me like that. And
I love when he said brother to help me get back in and all that, right? So he looked out for Shannon. I hook up my brother. But you got hooked up by Skip Bayless. That ain't a brother. It's just an unnecessary race car. Throw the flag.
So for me, anytime you mention him now, you're thinking about me to some degree because I brought him on to ESPN, and that just elevated his profile and assisted in Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, and all of that being taken to another level. And so knowing that, that's why I felt it was important to go on my YouTube show, my podcast, the Stephen A. Smith Show, and just let everybody know I'm not here to speak of innocence or guilt from a legal or a civil situation. That's for them to handle or whatever. I know the brother tells me he's innocent. I believe him. All right? But most importantly, I'm his friend.
Right.
And that man has done, he's helped me immensely. It ain't just me doing for him. He's done for me as well in terms of his performance and his dedication to his craft and how he's helped us. In terms of the show itself and how he helped us continue to explode. And I'm incredibly grateful to him for that. And I know that he does not trust easy and that the honest conversations that he's had with me, he wouldn't have with just anybody. So I'm going to honor that. And I'm going to make sure that he knows and that everybody knows that no matter how things go down, not to say that he would rely on me, but if he ever chose to, anything that I can do for him as a friend, I will do.
Oh, man. Woo! A lot to unpack there and a lot to clean up here because my daughter just came in here sweeping and vacuuming. I don't know. What?
Who's coming in the drive?
Hey, man, I blocked this ad, bro. St. Jude, if you watching this video, stop putting this damn ad on my shit, bro.
Oh, itty bitties, boy. She was quiet, too. She's like, look, I'm just trying to get my money. Allowance day. All right. To sum all this up, because I told you guys, I talk a lot, I listen more. When you see this situation, it's just unfortunate that you don't even have to read the tea leaves. It's like in bold print. Sometimes it looks like fine print, but really it's bold. If you listen to Stephen A., it doesn't look good for Shannon Sharpe in terms of returning back to Disney, and more importantly, it doesn't seem like Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe are on the same page in communication, which friends, especially in moments like this, need to be. Like if you're going to go out there and have that megaphone, because they both got big-ass megaphones, if you're going to talk it, we going to have to walk it together. And it looks like they're just walking in different ways, in different lanes, and with different understandings of this situation. So I just wanted to point out some of the contradictions so that they can get on the same damn page, or at least we can understand the real from the fake. Because when Shannon tells me, oh, man, I'm good, I'm leaving on my own, and then all of a sudden, nah, you got forced out. When Shannon tells me, oh, nah, I'm going to take some time away, but I'll be back. And then you say, nah, Disney ain't going to let you stay here. And then when you say you return in football season, he's like, I don't know about that. Those are three major things that came out on platforms. And it shouldn't come out that way. But that's what happens when you learn the difference between a friend and a professional associate. So beat it up in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about that one.
That's facts, man. I think he hit the nail on the head in the next video.